Tonight, imagine the soft pop of a jar lid, the glossy pull of a single black garlic clove, and 3 small ways to let that sweet, savory flavor stretch across your evening. 1 bulb, 3 quiet rituals, a silky pantry paste, a deliberate single clove toast, and a tiny honeyed umami drizzle. If you like slow cooking, quiet savoring, or tiny kitchen projects that fit into a crowded week, this one is for you. Stay with me. I'll walk you through each step slowly, including safe sourcing and how to keep your jar small so your house doesn't smell like garlic for a week. Quick note before we begin, consent and safety matter. The recipes I share today use commercially made, food-grade black garlic, not home fermentations, and I'll give clear storage instructions. If you're allium sensitive or cooking for infants, listen for alternative suggestions. All right, let's begin. I want to start with a little kitchen vignette. A neighbor once knocked on my door at dusk carrying a tiny jar, just a 2-ounce mason jar, wrapped in a scrap of brown paper. She said, smiling, "I made too much. Would you like a taste?" We stood on the stoop with the sun soft behind us. She handed me a bit of toast and a single clove rubbed over it. I still remember that slow, caramelized sweetness and the way the moment felt generous and deliberate, not about abundance, but about attention. That's the smallness I'm inviting you into tonight. Modest jars, thoughtful bites, and savoring one tiny thing at a time. So what is black garlic really? The flavor is soft and deep. Think molasses, a touch of balsamic-like sweetness, and a round, soy-like umami that isn't sharp the way fresh garlic can be. The texture is silky, almost jammy. The important practical note here, commercial black garlic is produced in controlled, food-safe conditions. The reason I recommend buying it is simple: safety and consistency. Let's be clear about this. The research and traditional practice around aged bulbs vary, and trying to replicate long, warm aging at home can be risky without the right equipment. For our tiny jar recipes, start with a reputable producer, so the focus is on flavor, not food safety guesswork. A few quick culinary notes and context. Aged or heat-treated bulbs appear across many cuisines as pantry condiments, an old way to deepen flavor and extend shelf life. Black garlic sits in that continuum, but taste-wise, it behaves more like a condiment you use sparingly rather than a bulk ingredient. That's why tiny batches make sense. Less waste, less lingering odor in shared spaces, and more joy per spoonful. If you love the ritual of making things at home, you can still explore. But for tonight's recipes, we'll keep it simple, small, and sourced. Who will enjoy these rituals tonight? If you like savory, slightly sweet flavors, if you favor small batch pantry craft, or if you're craving a mindful finishing touch for a bowl, these are for you. Cautions, spoken plainly. If you have an allium allergy or strong sensitivity to garlic or onion family plants, avoid tasting or handling these recipes. I'll mention an alternative in a moment. Also, don't give concentrated garlic pastes to infants. And if someone in your home is very scent sensitive, consider the low odor serving tips I'll share. This is about pleasure with boundaries. Now, the recipes. I'll read the ingredient list slowly, and then we'll walk the steps with timing and sensory cues so you can cook along if you like. I'll say each measurement twice, and we'll pause between steps to give you time. Recipe 1. Tiny pantry paste. Ingredients. Read slowly. 6 to 8 peeled black garlic cloves, about 20 to 25 grams total. 1 to 2 teaspoons neutral oil, a light olive oil, grapeseed, or avocado oil. A small pinch of fine salt, just enough to lift flavor. That's it. For people wanting a milder option, substitute roasted shallot paste. Same measurements, swap in 2 roasted shallots. Equipment: a small clean bowl, a fork or a mini mortar and pestle, a 2 to 4 ounce sterilized jar with lid, and a clean spoon for serving. Sterilize the jar by washing it in hot soapy water and rinsing well. You can also pour boiling water into the jar and let it sit for a minute, then drain and dry on a clean towel. Use clean hands or a clean spoon. We're minimizing contamination. Step 1. Place your 6 to 8 peeled black garlic cloves into the small bowl. Step 2. Using the fork or a mini mortar and pestle, gently mash the cloves until they form a soft paste. Don't overwork it. You want a little texture, not a completely emulsified spread. Step 3. Fold in 1 teaspoon of neutral oil to start. Taste and add a 2nd teaspoon if it needs silkiness. Step 4. Add a tiny pinch of salt. Stir and taste. That's it. Transfer the paste into your sterilized jar. Tamp it down lightly, seal, and label with the date. Refrigerate immediately. Recipe 2. Single clove toast. A tiny ritual. Ingredients: 1 slice of bread, 1 peeled black garlic clove, and a tiny knob of butter or a drizzle of olive oil. Equipment: toaster or pan, small knife or spoon. Step 1. Toast the bread to your preferred brownness. Step 2. Warm the clove gently between your fingers for a moment so it's slightly pliable. Then rub it over the warm toast, like rubbing garlic on a cut loaf, but here it's a single, sweet, jammy smear. Alternatively, thinly spread just a half teaspoon of the pantry paste you made. Step 3. Add the tiny knob of butter or a whisper of olive oil. Step 4. Pause. Bring the toast close. Breathe in the steam. And take 1 small, deliberate bite. Notice sweetness, the rounded umami, and the way a single bite can feel complete. Recipe 3. Honeyed umami drizzle. Perfect for finishing porridge or roasted vegetables. Ingredients: 1 teaspoon crushed black garlic, 1 to 2 tablespoons mild honey, start with 1, and a tiny pinch of flaky salt. Equipment: a small saucepan or microwave-safe bowl, a spoon, and an optional fine strainer. Step 1. Gently warm the honey, just enough so it thins, perhaps 10 to 15 seconds in the microwave, or 30 seconds over very low heat on the stove. Step 2. Stir in the crushed black garlic. Let it sit for 30 seconds to infuse. Step 3. If you prefer a smooth drizzle, press the honey through a tiny strainer. Otherwise, use as is and finish with a whisper of flaky salt. Use a small spoon to drizzle sparingly. This is a finishing touch, not a main ingredient. A few practical tips and common mistakes. Don't make large jars if you live with scent-sensitive people. Keep it 2 to 4 ounces. Don't store the paste at room temperature. Refrigerate right away. If the paste looks cloudy, develops bubbles, or smells off, discard it. Don't over-mash the cloves if you like a little texture. If you're serving to company and worried about lingering breath or scent, serve the portioned toast or drizzle on the plate and reseal the jar immediately. Storage and serving timing. Label your jar with the date and keep it in the fridge. Use the paste within 10 to 14 days. If you'd like to keep a smaller amount longer, store a very small sealed jar and use a clean spoon each time to avoid introducing moisture. Best times to use. As a finishing accent, a spoonful folded into warm rice, a tiny smear on toast, or a light drizzle over a bowl. If you live with others who are scent sensitive, make single-serve portions on a plate and close the jar quickly. Safety, cautions, and sourcing. The essentials. First, if you have any allergy to garlic, onion, or related plants, please do not taste or handle these recipes. Choose roasted shallot or caramelized onion as a safe alternative. Second, do not attempt extended home fermentation or experimental aging methods unless you have proper equipment and training. That's where risk hides. Buying commercially prepared, labeled black garlic from a reputable producer avoids that danger. Third, do not give concentrated garlic pastes to infants or very young children. If you have specific health considerations, talk to a trusted provider.
This podcast provides culinary and cultural guidance, not medical advice. The bottom line is, savor small and stay safe.
Before we close, let's take a short sensory pause. If you have your toast or a small spoonful of paste nearby, hold it, feel the warmth, and breathe in the aroma at arm's length. Notice sweetness first, then the savory, slow umami that unfolds. Let yourself savor one tiny bite mindfully, the kind of small pleasure that feels like a signal to slow down. If you're only listening, imagine it. One toast, a glossy smear, the hush of evening. You don't need more than one bite to feel satisfied. If you tried this tiny pantry paste or the single clove toast tonight, I'd love to hear how it felt. Subscribe to Earthy Remedy if you haven't already, and send a short voice note or DM telling us about your small jar. Did you use it on toast, in a bowl, or as a drizzle? Your notes help shape future recipes and tiny rituals we share. Also, check the episode notes for the written recipe and sourcing links to reputable black garlic producers. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. I hope tonight's 3 small rituals help you find a little more savor in the ordinary. Listen to your body. Trust the earth. Feel the difference.